Welcome to another edition of LRMania Reviews, and tonight I'm here to review the September 19th, 2017 edition of Smackdown. And this show is the show that takes place after Kevin Owens' vicious attack on Vince McMahon last week. One thing I didn't notice, I read online that Vince McMahon, when he was talking about the lawsuits, this just slipped right over my head. That was actually Vince McMahon cutting a promo when shooting on CM Punk. He was just using Kevin Owens as an outlet to shoot on CM Punk. Kind of reminded me a few years ago when CM Punk first walked out, Stephanie McMahon would go on Raw, and she'd use Daniel Bryan and have him rebel against authority just so she can just cuss out CM Punk. And she'd use Daniel Bryan as the outlet to, create this false CM Punk. This is what they did with Kevin Owens. So it's funny, still. It is what it is. Shane Doe is going to talk about KO, and I don't know if I'm really that interested in their match at Hell in a Cell in Detroit in a few weeks. So I was thinking, Hell in a Cell's in Detroit. Shane McMahon made his return last year in 2016 in Detroit. And on that same show, Vince McMahon announced that he'd face Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania that year. So it's kind of cool. It's a year and a half later, and Shane's in a Hell in a Cell match in Detroit. And it's kind of cool. It'd be interesting to see his return was in Detroit when they announced Hell in a Cell was final. Maybe it's his last appearance in Detroit in the Hell in a Cell match against KO. That'd be a cool tie-in. Randy Orton pinned in English. Don't care at all. Sadly, it looks like that Orton and Rusev feud has to continue. It just has to. That was like the dumbest shit I've seen in a while. That was so stupid. Rusev comes out. He wants revenge for the 10-second match at SummerSlam. He has a match with Orton. They agree to have a match. He comes in the ring, and then Orton goes for an RKO. Aiden English gets on the apron, and Rusev hits a super kick for the win. That was so stupid. This fucking feud has to continue. This is the Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt of SmackDown. Both these feuds are just fucking horrible. I do not want to see Orton and Rusev anymore. It's just such an awful feud. So they announced Charlotte Flair is going to make her return on SmackDown. They showed the graphic in front of Rick. It would make you think Rick's coming on the show, but obviously he's not in any condition to be so. But thankfully, Ric Flair's he's making a recovery, and Charlotte's gonna be returning on SmackDown. I have to bring this up. I never mentioned this on my Raw review. I stopped watching the show an hour early. I was just not happy with the show. I was not enjoying it for a go-home show. And I criticized Evie heavily for not airing a Bobby Heenan video package. Later in the show, they did, and I'm sorry to be for doing that, for saying that. I thought they'd air in the beginning of the show, and I thought they'd give them a 10-bell salute, but they did air a video package. I watched it on YouTube, on WWE's channel. It was a great video package, and again, rest in peace to Bobby Heenan, just such an icon, and without question, in my opinion, the greatest manager of all time. They did a backstage promo with Rusev. Renee Young was interviewing him, and he kept going, Rusev, number one, he's going to return home to Bulgaria. Hopefully he does after he loses to Ornette, the Hell in a Cell show. So that'll probably be it for Rusev. Singh brothers are out, so that means, whenever I see Mahal now, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I went on a major rant last week. I didn't need to go that far, but I do not want to see him anymore, so I'm going to have to change the channel until he's off. I'll check Twitter whenever he's off. So it's AJ Styles and Baron Corbin, and for the U.S. title, man, that's another channel turner. I just don't want to see Baron Corbin on my TV. It's on this thing where I think wrestling, it's for me, watching it and reviewing it's harder because now I think almost there's football, there's kind of an alternative for me to watch, something else I really like, and it's gone to the point where I'm losing interest, and there's things now I do not want to see, guys. There's guys like Baron Corbin, during, WrestleMania season and summer season, even SummerSlam season, I'm really into wrestling. But now that's the fall, this is the death time of wrestling, it's gone to the point where I want to change my channel when I see guys like Corbin. So up next on SmackDown, Ric Flair, Charlotte's going to return, and she's probably going to talk about Ric Flair. I missed whatever happened in between. I didn't watch the gender stuff or the thing was the Corbin AJ match. Something else might have happened, I don't know. But up next is the Queen. The Queen returns to SmackDown Live. I'm going through Twitter. I'm reading that Mahal segment must have just been awful. Thank God I didn't watch it. So Charlotte's she's talking about her dad and his recovery, and Natalia comes out, and I see two guys. Oh man, I hope it's not oh my God, this fucking company. I was expecting them to do some poor tasting with Rick, but the pictures turned out to be Natalya winning to that SummerSlam. The dialogue here they had was awful. Charlotte and Natalya go, stop. I was thinking to myself, stop, man, that was just terrible. Then when it got really, it wasn't too bad actually when Natty and Charlotte were out there. When everyone else came, Becky just had the worst dialogue. They're making her look so goofy. She just comes off as this biggest dweeb and the biggest geek. She was just fucking horrible. The dialogue they gave her, even though she looked great in the outfit she was wearing, as she always does. But man, that dialogue was awful. Naomi comes out and she's wearing this white jacket, and her dialogue wasn't as bad as Becky's, but my goodness, it was awful. And then, of course, Lana and Tamina came out, and I almost had to change the channel for the third time tonight, because I can't stand to see them anymore on my TV screen. Daniel Bryan comes out and makes a Fatal 4-Way, so it's a Fatal 4-Way tonight. I thought he was going to say next week, but it's a Fatal 4-Way tonight. Number one contender is probably the main event. I think Charlotte goes over here. I think it's Natty and Charlotte at Hell in a Cell. So it's the Hype Bros against the New Day. Hopefully they just split up the Hype Bros and get this over with. No one cares about this fucking team. It's awful. They're going to turn Zack Ryder heel. So, I mean, this is the first time Zack Ryder's been heel since what? 2011? Before he did that Z True Long Island story. I mean, this guy needs to be released. Him and Ziggler. We haven't seen Ziggler, unless I missed him when I stopped watching the show for a while. I mean, we haven't seen Ziggler, so I don't know who's getting in person. I'm surprised he didn't come out as Nakamura. I didn't hear he did that. But, man, he's been doing so well, we have to see this fucking guy again. Just wish that guy would be released. Him and Ryder both need to get the fuck out of WWE. Both of you leave, please, and don't come back. I don't want to see you anymore. You're done. You had your time. You spent many years wasting time. I know you're phoning it in. I know those guys don't give a fuck, and I know Ryder's on the same level as Ziggler, but I know Ziggler doesn't. It seems like he's intentionally taking. These guys don't give a shit. They've had their opportunity, or Ziggler has. The company never got behind him. I don't think he's that guy who wants to just be the guy that put other guys over. I think he didn't go full out with Nakamura. He didn't try to tear the house down. And with Ryder, I'm just like, go away, man. I know the show's in Oakland. They're in Northern California right now. Where I was in San Jose last night, I'm thinking to myself, last week was in Vegas. And I'm sure the show we got last week compared to the show we're getting right now, WWE has a lot in common with the Oakland Raiders. They really want to move to Vegas and save their best for Vegas. So that seems like what's happening right now. New Day won, kind of a filler match. Sure, Ziggler will come out, then the main event. That's what I think is probably going to happen. So they went to the Kevin Owens on Satellite interview. I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't very long. Kevin Owens, he cut a, it was a decent promo. The one thing is that the angle last week was so hot, I'm afraid it already lost a lot of its steam, and they really didn't capitalize it. It's like, they had the whole bases loaded, and they just didn't really strike out. And maybe they're saving it for the go-home show. And I understand this is really Raw week. This is No Mercies on Sunday, so I mean, maybe they want the main focus to be on Raw and not much on SmackDown. SmackDown's just kind of filler since it's the Raw go-home week, but they saw such a good angle. You just expect something bigger, but it wasn't much, even though his promo was much better than Shane McMahon. Shane on the opening segment, I don't know if I'm opening promo, that promo was fucking horrible. He was terrible. It seemed like he got lost again. And he had horrible delivery. He didn't even know his lines, and he couldn't deliver his lines. He's like reading off of a script and trying to find personality in it, and it was so fucking horrible. They showed the Hype Bros backstage, and they're teasing a breakup, but who cares? Oh, no, Dolph is out. No. Oh, shit. Well, we'll see who he impersonates this week. He came out as Triple H, and it was fucking horrible. He said he could win NXT, that was kind of funny, and the fans can't see him Punk. And he comes out as Shawn Michaels, and it's just so fucking, oh my god. Just kill me already. It comes out as DX. I don't know if he was supposed to be Triple H or Shawn or X-Pac, or I don't know. Yeah, the fans were just chanting CM Punk. It's funny, if he keeps this up, I don't think it'll last that long, but I don't know, next time they're in Chicago, it'd be kind of cool if he'd have to be CM Punk. So all four of the women are out, but it's already like 9:50. They're only going to have about 10 minutes to do this match. Man, Not good. Tamina will probably slow the match down, obviously. There was no match of Carmella tonight. That was interesting. They didn't even mention her once. Not to take anything away from the 4 women in this match, but I heard the fucking crowd. I saw some pictures. The top area is draped off. Wow. Jinder Mahal, what a draw as champion. He's the reason anyway. I'm watching this match. Match is okay. I wish they had a little bit more time to really tear it up in there. So Charlotte gets the win. She pins Tamina. The match was good. They got a "This is awesome" chant near the end. I would have thought she should have won with the natural selection instead of just the big boot, but she got the win. It's Natalya and Charlotte Hell in a Cell. So the show ends in a really nice moment, a nice feel good moment. Charlotte dedicates at the end. She points her heart to her father, who thankfully is still with us, and he looks like he might make a full recovery. It ends on a good note, and Charlotte coming back and winning the Fatal 4 was definitely a great part of the show, but I couldn't save the show. The show had so much wrong with it. So many cringeworthy stuff, so much awful segments. This was a bad SmackDown. I did not enjoy the show at all. This was a bad show, and Raw I did not like either, so 2 bad shows in a row. Man, I did not enjoy either show by WWE this week. And SmackDown, there's just so much wrong. And I heard, to go back to that Jinder Mahal Nakamura stuff, I heard that there were fans saying that's too far. There was some racist stuff. I don't know what happened there, but I'm glad I missed it because that segment fucking sucked. Anything with Jinder Mahal I don't want to see. So, SmackDown, even though I liked the end with Charlotte coming back and getting the win, I couldn't save this show. This show was still a thumbs down.